Welcome to this Douglas Academy video for Broad General Education English. We're going to be having a series of lessons on a short story called Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl, and this will lead to the writing of a critical essay. These lessons are designed to support you with your study of a literature text. They're suitable for S1 to 3 pupils writing a critical essay. We cover a number of essential skills: listening to text, reading and analysing text, selecting quotations, and planning, structuring and writing a critical essay. In this lesson, we'll be planning and writing a critical essay on Lamb to the Slaughter. The critical essay question we will be answering is: what makes Lamb to the Slaughter an unexpected short story? It's always helpful to have a bit of a plan before you start writing a critical essay. So we've got here a paragraph plan that you can follow, and you'll see that it very much follows the set of lessons that you have done on Lamb to the Slaughter. So we're going to start by writing an introduction to your critical essay, and then after that we're going to have 5 main body paragraphs, and these are going to cover the topics you've looked at in the unit, such as the Maloney marriage, the unexpected bad news, the unexpected murder, Mary's alibi, and the police investigation. And then we'll show you how to write a conclusion. First of all, we'd like to show you how to write an introduction to a critical essay, and you can use this for any critical essay that you're going to be writing in English. There's a helpful formula that you can follow, which we call TAGLE. This stands for title, author, genre, and link to the question. These are the key elements that you want to include in any introduction. So for this essay, we'd expect in the introduction that you would say the title, Lamb to the Slaughter, that the author is Roald Dahl, that the genre is a short story, and that also it's an unexpected short story, which will link in to the question. Here's a sample of what this might look like. You could very simply say, Lamb to the Slaughter is a short story written by Roald Dahl. The story is unexpected in lots of different ways. You can see here that this is a basic introduction that would cover your essentials, and it has the TAGLE formula in it. However, it's also not very detailed, so we're going to have a go at using this information, but also adding in more details to make an even better introduction. So what else could we include to make it a good introduction? Our task here is going to be that we're going to try and write a better introduction than the one in the previous slide by including some of the following details. You don't need to have all of them, but some of the details in here will make it a much more interesting and detailed introduction. So here's a list of things that you can choose from. You decide yourself what you would like to put in your introduction. First of all, you could mention that the story is set in America and was written in the 1950s. During this time, the majority of states gave the death penalty for murderers. You could also say that Roald Dahl has written a lot of children's novels, but that this short story is part of a collection for adults, and that it therefore has more grown-up themes and ideas. You could also talk about Mary Maloney and explain that she is an unexpected murderer, and that she's 6 months pregnant and a loving wife. You could also say that the plot is unexpected, as we don't anticipate a murder to happen, or that the murderer will be able to get away with it. You could also have a little chat about the title of the story. The murder weapon of a frozen leg of lamb is pretty unusual. The title of Lamb to the Slaughter shows that the lamb is being used to kill, but it's also a clever title, as it does suggest that Mary is like a lamb who ends up slaughtering someone unexpectedly. Lambs are generally associated with being innocent, so a lamb to the slaughter maybe suggests that someone who's previously been innocent has turned into a murderer. You could also talk about the techniques that the author uses, in particular narrative and irony, and this makes us more sympathetic for Mary. You could also mention that it's very unusual and unexpected that a reader would end up taking the side of the murderer in a short story. Have a go at writing your introduction now. Once you have written it, you will want to check it over. At this stage, it would be a good idea to send it to your teacher or share with an adult helper to make sure you're on the right lines and give yourself a little bit of confidence. Here's a little checklist that can help you to have a look at it before you send it to your teacher. Have you included the title? Have you said who the author is? Have you said what the genre is? Have you explained that the story is unexpected? And have you included some more supporting detail to make your introduction more effective? You should now be ready, if you've done all that, to move on to writing the main body paragraphs of your essay. We're now going to show you how to write a main body paragraph. And again, you can use this for any critical essay that you're writing. You'll see in the paragraph plan that we're going to cover 5 main body paragraphs in our essay, but each of those paragraphs is going to look pretty much the same. They're going to follow a similar structure. To help, we can use a little formula for this, which is T-E-A. Use a topic sentence, use evidence from the text, and give analysis of ideas and techniques. So what does this actually look like? Let's start with a sample for paragraph 1. In green here, we've got our topic sentence. This always comes first because what a topic sentence does is gives the topic of your paragraph and pretty much sets out what the paragraph is going to be about. So it should usually be a statement that you're going to make. In paragraph 1, you're talking about the Maloney marriage, so it would make sense as a topic sentence to say something like, the marriage between Mary and Patrick appears to be very happy, so for a murder to happen is very unexpected. You then want to introduce some evidence from the text. If you look back on your lesson on the Maloney marriage, you'll find that there's a slide there that has quite a few different quotations. You just need to choose one that you think is most appropriate and that you can say something about. So here we're introducing it properly. We're saying what's happening. When Mary is waiting for her husband to come home from work, Dahl writes that, and here's the quote, "This was always a blissful time of day." Once you've given your evidence from the text, you need to talk about this evidence and explain it in more detail. So you could say, this suggests that Mary really loves him and longs for him to be with her. It seems almost impossible that she will actually murder him that very evening. So you can see here, by using this simple structure, you can make sure that you have a paragraph that contains all the ingredients you need to make a really good point in relation to your essay question. And all of your paragraphs will follow this TEA structure. So your next question might be, well, how will I know what my topic sentence should be for each paragraph? Remember that you've been asked to comment on the following 5 areas. So you'll need 5 topic sentences, 1 for each paragraph. You can look back here at the lessons that we've done previously when you come to write each paragraph. Firstly, the Maloney marriage, which is lesson 1. Secondly, the unexpected bad news, which is lesson 2. Third, the unexpected murder, lesson 3. 4, Mary's alibi, lesson 4. And lastly, the police investigation, lesson 5. Remember that a topic sentence introduces what the paragraph will be about. So for each topic sentence, you should think about the question that you're answering. What is unexpected about this part of the story? You should look back to your previous lessons on each area in order to decide what you want to say about that part of the story. Once you've decided on your topic sentence, you'll need to then think about gathering some quotations to back up your ideas. This is your evidence. So how will you know what evidence to include? Well, remember that in each lesson, you've been given tasks already to find quotations to back up your ideas. And you should have more than enough quotations to choose from. So all you need to do is to look back at these lessons, at the quotations you've gathered, and choose one for each paragraph of your essay. How will you know which one to choose? Well, the best quotation to choose is the one that you have the most to say about. Remember that this should link closely to your topic sentence for that paragraph. So for example, if you're looking at paragraph 2 when you're talking about the unexpected bad news, you could say as a topic sentence, it's very unexpected when Patrick Maloney suddenly tells his wife he is leaving her. The evidence that would work well with this is, and he told her. It didn't take long, 4 or 5 minutes at most, and she sat very still through it all, watching him with a kind of dazed horror as he went further and further away from her with each word. So this works well, but remember it's not the only combination that would work for you. You're allowed to make your own decisions, and there are lots of possible right ways of doing this. You should have lots of quotations to choose from in your work so far, so write about what interests you the most. So now you've chosen your topic sentence and selected the quotation you're going to use for your evidence. The third part is to think about what you will write about for your analysis. Once you've selected your quotation, the analysis is what you want to say about this part you've selected from the text. There might be techniques that Dahl's used, or ideas that you've already discussed in previous lessons that you may wish to comment on. Here's a sample to look at, which is the paragraph about Mary's alibi. The topic sentence might be, it's really unexpected that Mary can create an alibi so quickly and so well. The evidence chosen might be, she rehearsed it several times more. Now you want to say something about this. So your analysis could be, here we learn that Mary is very intelligent and a great actress. She is able to hide her emotions in front of Sam at the grocer's to provide herself with an alibi. You can see here that your analysis is about discussing the evidence in depth and also linking back to the essay question. You should make sure that you are discussing the idea of the unexpected in each paragraph. Now have a go at writing your main body paragraphs. Keep looking back at your previous lessons as there's lots of work to help you here. And if you get stuck, contact your teacher or an adult helper. Well done! If you've reached this stage, you are nearly finished your essay. So we're now going to help you to write an effective conclusion. A good conclusion should sum up what you've written about in the essay. At this point, you should make sure that you've fully answered the essay question. And if there are any further ideas that you want to include, you might wish to do that in your conclusion. Here's a sample conclusion. Please don't copy this word for word. These are my ideas. I'm sure you've got ideas of your own. In conclusion, Lamb to the Slaughter is a very unexpected short story. It has an unexpected main character and murder weapon. It is also unexpected for the reader that we end up feeling sympathy for Mary Maloney, even though she's a murderer. The narrative technique from Mary's point of view really helps us to understand her and root for her to get away with murder. Now have a go at writing your own conclusion. When you're finished your last paragraph, check over your work and send your completed essay to your teacher. The checklist on the next slide should help you to make sure your essay is great. Essay checklist. I have used Taggle for my introduction. I've used TEA for my 5 main body paragraphs. I have included a conclusion. I have checked over my work for spelling errors, punctuation, and grammar mistakes. I have shared my work with someone else to help check over with me. What have we learned? In this lesson, you have learned how to write a critical essay. You've used skills of reading and gathering information to plan your essay. You've learned how to structure an essay in paragraphs. You've learned formulas such as Taggle and TEA to help you to structure your ideas in writing. Remember that next time you come to write a critical essay, you can use these same skills.